give a warm welcome to Paddy O'Grady from Donegal, who's going to tell us his story.
Anyway, Carter, are you enjoying yourselves? Well, I'll soon put an end to that. I have been praising the stewards here during the week for how well they're looking after us in the rugby club and the rugby field. But I think I might change my mind on that now, because one of them is responsible for having me up here now. But having said that, we have to, but while I'm boys a hurt diva when you're in the orange Gaelic of the Shahanat, particularly the Chucky and Sauru, and I was just thinking, I hope it starts tomorrow morning. But I was standing in the queue up there yesterday waiting for the shuttle bus. A big line of us, and your one comes out of a camper van over here, in a tight skirt on her and steps along, and up to the front of the queue she went, just in front of me waiting there for ages, but I just let it go. So she started, and she had a problem negotiating the steps, high steps in the bus, but she had one thing in her favour: she had buttons up the back. And she reached back and loosened the button. Try it again, no good. Loosen a few more. And I got tired looking at her loosening. I caught her and I heaved her into the middle of the bus. She says, "Thank you very much. It was becoming very embarrassing for me." I said, wasn't half as embarrassing as it was for me. It was my buttons you were loosening. Now, this is more a little word of warning to gentlemen who would be fond of jogging. And there are people like that, and even when they go away on weekends, they still keep up their jogging. Fair play to them. Now, there was such a man here, and he went for his jog this morning. And he went into the paper shop on his way back to buy the paper. And he had his wee shorts on him, and he was still going away at the counter. The man in the shop says, "You're a fine fit bit of a man." "I am," he says. "What age would you think I am?" "I says, "You're probably about 60. He says, "I'm 75 and a half. And fair play to you," he says. So off the man goes out. He done a few laps of the field there, I saw him myself. And coming back up the road again, going down the road, he met the wee woman coming up with her bag of messages, and she sat down on the wall, so he knew that she wanted a wee chat. She says to me, "You're a fine figure of a man." "Yeah," he says, "What age would you like to guess my age?" "Well," she says, "we're never much good at that kind of thing, but if you were to drop them wee shorts a wee bit, I would have a better idea." So he looked up the road and down the road. There was nobody about, so seeing it was a kind of an experiment, he didn't see any harm in it. And he done the drop. She says, "You're 75 and a half. That's amazing," he says. "How could you be so accurate?" So I was behind you in the shop when you were buying the paper. Now, in Donegal, we live near the hills. They are Muckin, Sherrigal, and a few more. And their winter was very harsh. And those two old ladies lived well up close to the mountain, and they kept a flock of hens and a rooster. And the winter being so bad, all the feathers disappeared from the rooster's rear end. And one of the old girls, fair play to her, she took pity on him and she knitted a wee, she good at the knitting up there, she knitted a wee pair of pull-ups and just got them on to him and a wee band around them, and he was in business. But the next morning the postman landed up into the house, didn't speak to anybody, lay down on the sofa, laughing. She couldn't get him stopped. What's wrong at all? Were you on the beer last night or what? No, he says. I've just seen the gamest bird I ever saw in my life. Where did you see that? Down at the bottom of your lane, he says. What was it? Your rooster, he says, holding a hen down with one foot and opening the fork of his trousers with the other one. I think I'll leave you at that because we don't, well, Madge, my wife, is here too, and Madge and I had our golden anniversary earlier this year.
I love you, Madge.
And we had a bit of a shindig in the local hotel, and it went very well. The whole night went well, but there was another man down the road and he was in a similar situation. But he took a different approach. He said to her, we should go up to down wee lane where we had our first court. And fair play to her, she agreed. And off they went in the Morris Minor, stopped at the bottom of the wee lane, walked up the lane. But there was a bit of a wire going across, a wee light wire. And she threw the leg across, and she started jumping all over the place. He says to her, what's wrong with you at all? He says, you're as lively as the first night. She says, there was no electric fence here the first night. And the last one, as you know, Donegal people are very fond of tea. But during the war, tea was very scarce. And my granny and the next door neighbour had to go across the border to smuggle home tea. And in those days they wore big long skirts and pantaloons and what have you. They got the tea and the sugar and they hid it where they thought the customs man wouldn't look. So on their way back, your man was reading the Donegal news. Donegal team was going well at the time. Can't say the same today, but they fell against the ditch when they got across. One of them says, I'm in trouble. I'm after bursting the sugar. The other one says, I'm in worse trouble. I'm after wetting the tea. Okay, why not?